me share my screen. Hope you're able to see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay. So in today's session, we're going to learn about AWS Glue Data Brew. This is again a service, and this service is being think of is a part of AWS Glue Data Brew family. This is being used to perform data cleansing, and try to get a better idea of your data. But in a way, this is more a no code, low code kind of a service where you have not to worry about knowing any language, and then you must be like uh, again, remember when we were talked about AWS Glue as in service. I see I'm getting the background noise, so if you're not speaking, just mind muting yourself. It's coming from the Raghav. Let me mute Raghav. Mute. Okay. So yeah. So remember we talked about AWS Glue, how AWS Glue able to use Spark to perform all the data operations, and we able to build the data pipeline using AWS Glue Studio. That was again an UI interface, but again, you have to have some basic knowledge around the Spark to work with AWS Glue. Whereas when we started having much more enterprises start using AWS Glue, there was a requirement came into picture, like, okay, not all the users are the Spark user, or not all the users are SQL user, right? There are set of users, they do the data wrangling. I'm using my book title. So they do they work on the data wrangling process, but uh, they need a service, or they need a tool where they have not to worry about writing any piece of code. So that's where Glue Data Brew came into picture, where you able to work with your data, you're able to discover your data, you're able to analyze your data, you're able to clean your data, all kind of things you're able to perform against your data, uh, without writing a single piece of code. This is primarily meant for a business user, or the user uh, who were using Excel for their data analysts, right? But again, if you're using Excel, it has a limitation in terms of like uh, you will be first for limitation. It has the security challenges, because you have to download the data on your local desktop to perform any operations, right? To use it. Other challenges are, um, you have to it has a limitation, like how many record able to hold. The third challenge is definitely, right, if you have to process the data against the big data, or against the production data, it will be, again, it's challenging, because you have to export those micros, have to convert into some kind of a business logic in your application, and then apply against it, right? So all those was challenges to which was helped which was used to which we try to solve using AWS Glue Data Brew. So if you see here, if you go into AWS console, you just type AWS Glue Data Brew, it will take you here. So it has a couple of component. Let's start with one by one and see what all those components are. First, let's get started with the data set, right? So data set is nothing but, you will be connecting to your data sources and bringing the data in here. So if I just simply go and say, hey, connect new data set, let's see what all option we are getting. So it is option, it providing us, hey, I am able to upload the file from my local desktop, which is nice. I'm able to get the data from Amazon S3 directly. I'm able to connect to the Redshift and able to get the data from Redshift. I'm able to connect to any JDBC connections. So like when we say JDBC, we were talking about all the databases, like whether it's a MySQL, whether it's an Oracle, whether it's a Snowflake, Microsoft SQL, etc. If you see here, I have created bunch of bunch of data sources connections. One is for the Snowflake, other one is for Microsoft SQL, other one is for the MySQL. So similarly, you're able to connect to a lot of the data sources as well. Other is it has a direct integration with AWS Glue Data Catalog. Do you remember what was the AWS Glue Data Catalog was? Any of you will
Yeah, it
remember?
was the logical representation of the data.
Right, right, yes. So AWS Glue Data Catalog is a collection of metadata, and then again the metadata what you have mentioned, Nisha, right? It's a logical representation of your data. So you can think of it as a centralized repository where you will be crawling your data, extracting the metadata, and having the data being available for you to use. So you're able to connect to all the S3 data catalog. You're able to connect to all the Redshift data catalogs. You're able to connect to all the RDS data catalog. And again, this is for everything combined together. Other integration it has, which is very powerful, is it has integration with Airflow. So Airflow, if you not know, this is a service let you connect to uh, SaaS applications. So think of like, Google Analytics is there, Marketo is there, Salesforce is there, Slack is there. It allow you to connect, and then again there are a list of other services. But generally, these are the services which has a direct integration uh, with the uh, with the data brew through the Airflow. And then there is something called AWS Data Exchange. So AWS Data Exchange, think of it as a marketplace where you're able to find a lot of data which is being shared by other organizations, which you're able to subscribe it, or and there are different subscription model. Some of them are free, some of them are charged. But the idea is like, okay, you as an organization, if you're looking to build data as a service product, and you're looking to have that data as a data being available for external or internal user to consume with or without any subscription fee, you're able to use AWS Data Exchange. And then last but not least, it has a connectivity with Snowflake. You're able to connect to the Snowflake directly from the Glue Data Brew. Okay, so just think of like, I will be if I have some kind of a file, right? And look what all kind of file format it supports. It supports CSV, TSV, JSON, and all other file format, right? And JSON, ORC, Parquet, XML. So what I did here is I can simply go and able to choose the data, or let me see, H5 ink. Yeah. So there was a file which I have worked in past. So let me select that file. So it will be selecting the file. It will be telling me like, okay, where you wanted to have the file being uploaded. So I can just select this brew. Let's see. We can just put in here, um, and then we can give some um, HR5. But it's an HR data with the 5 million record. I know it's CSV. You can define what the file format is, and this is the first row is in header, right? So what I will be doing here, I will be creating a data set out of it. Let me million. It will be creating a data set out of it, right? So once we're done with creating the data set, now next ask will be, hey, how I am looking to work against this data set. This is what we're going to learn in, once the data set get created. Any questions so far? So I will let this data set created here. Let's move to So if you see here, we already had a data set which I kind of brought in here. So this is my data set. This is how the data set look like once you have the data set ingested into your S3 location, right? So once the data set get created, you're able to see preview of the data. It will give you how the data set look like. It able to list few records for your preview, right? It will give you a fair idea, and then also you will get an idea how the schema look like, and against few records against its schema, tree format. So there are formats like if you're looking to analyze the data in a JSON format, etc. So this is a way for you to just to get an idea around your data. This is the data set norm. This is the your think of like how much the data set is, etc. So one other thing which is very important on this one, if you see here, something called AWS data profile. So first, if you're creating a data set, right, it will be let's say this is the data set. This is the same data set, right? So if here we don't have a data profile, so data profile is nothing but to give you a fair understanding around your data. Uh, Primarily, if you are a data scientist, you wanted to see, okay, how your data is being distributed, how the data is being correlated, how the data is being, if you're looking to see any stats around the data, like, okay, mean, median, mode, if there are any data skewness, if there are any data outlier or anything as such. If you're looking to have that understanding, like, if the relationship and derivations, etc. If you're looking to understand all those, you will be creating the data profile. So let's run the data profile, right? So what we did is we brought the data in. We are now looking to run a profile, and you're able to have the data profile being stored to a to yeah. Let me select this one, and I call it like HR RO. Here you have the data being stored here. Once you have your data being stored in here, you easily able to let me select the role name. I will be selecting this role here, and I will be creating a I will be creating a insufficient lake formation access. Blah blah blah. Okay, it has a lake formation being enabled. So. mm, whew. So this is your data set name, call by. mm, so glue data catalog. Let me see. Let me try to upload the file here itself, because if I go and start fixing that lake formation permission issue, it may confuse you. So let me get started scratch here. So let's get a data set. Yeah, this one here. We got the data set. Demo HR 5 million, right? So we can have here, we can have the data being stored into Meet DataBrew. Okay, I will be going back. Okay, let's select this one here, and we call it HR 5 million CSV row header. Let's create this one. It may take few minutes because it's uploading this 1.4 million, 1.4 GB of data from your local desktop to NS3. So let's wait for it to get created. Hmm. It's taking more than expected time. So by the time, let me see if I can open a new console and we can, because it's create a session. So okay, so by the time it's creating this data set, like let's see what all things are available in here. So we're going to learn about the data profile. I will try to see, okay, you're able to how you're able to run the data profile. I will show you there. But idea is like once you have your data and once you're able to create the data profile. Wait, yeah. So if you see here, this is the data profile, which just talk about okay how the data is being distributed, whether the data is equally distributed or not. Right, and as compared to it will tell you like okay how many records you have. So it has a 5 million record. Tell you like how many integer columns you have, how many double columns you have, how many strings column you have. This is like correlation matrix you're able to see here. So correlated relation matrix will be how the column is being correlated to each other. If you have a positive number towards correlation, it means this there are correlation exist between the column. For instance, age in years as age in company. So the more you have age in year, maybe there are chances for you to have more in companies, right? If you are older, and so this is there are correlation exist. Uh, so age of joining between age in company. there is no correlation exists, right? So this is how it's being defined in terms of correlations. Other very interesting stats, especially if you are a if you are a data scientist or any other. If you're looking to see, okay, how the data is being distributed. So this is my minimum employee ID. This is my maximum employee ID. Uh, this is the standard deviation, but again, it's not good value to showcase for the employee ID. Maybe some other column. So I can let me see. Let's talk about gender. Do we have or any other? Let's talk about age in years. Okay. Still taking time.
Here we can also correlate across different data sets, right? One data set coming from one source and a different source, and for example, to create all the correlations across all the monitoring metrics, say. Uh,
Well, not actually. So this data profile is being created only for this particular data source. So
mhm.
and if you're looking to have those being created across multiple data source, right? Either you have to combine those into a single data source, right? But it's not
Oh,
like where you're able to generate a correlation matrix between two multiple or two distinct data sources. So that is not possible,
okay.
right?
I
So it's
see.
just more like once we have this data set created, all
Mhm.
the data which I have in this particular data, right, I
Mhm.
will only able to generate the I will only able to create a metrics around this data itself. Not like, okay, because see here, I don't have any options to join the multiple data, or when I will be creating this data profile, you don't see that I have an option to select multiple data sources. It's just one data source where I will able to create a matrix.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So look here, like this, if you're looking to get in stats here, the minimum age I have in my company is 21. The maximum age I have in my company is 60 years. The median I have is a 40 right ages, and then mean, mode, all this other things as well. So similarly, if we talk about, I'm not sure if we have a salary in here. Mm, let's see. Yeah, salaries as well. So if we have to analyze, okay, how the salary is being distributed, whether my employees are fairly, is paid or not, or is there are like really big gap. So if you see here, the minimum is like 40,000, and the maximum whosoever is making is a $2 million dollar, right? However, the median is 120K, or it's a 120K only. It's a 200K, or it's a 200K. Sorry. So maximum is 200K, minimum is 40K, and the median is right. So it seems like this company is fairly pay well pay well to their employees. Like 25 percentile is already paid like 80K, around 50% is that much, and then rest of them is this much. So it will be tell you like, okay, how your data is being distributed. So you will get a fair knowledge around the data, and especially uh, this will be very helpful for a data scientist or data scientist kind of work, or even any other analytics work too, right? Sometimes we just give too much emphasis on the data science. Again, here, these are the columns, and it will tell you, look, okay, how the data is, all the data are valid, or there are any issues, or there are any discrepancies in the data, right? It will tell you if the data is distinct. For instance, I have selected this employee ID. Look like this employee ID data is not distinct. So I have like 22 values for this particular value, right? So that will tell you like, okay, how that is being there. Other is you will be having you can go to any other columns and you're able to see okay how the data is being distributed, etc., etc. Uh, one very interesting, so this is again and call is in stats against some more stats against your again your columns. Uh, there are something called which is, and if you see here, this is also very interesting. The cardinality of the data, how cardinal your data is, right? So it'll tell you like, okay, if the cardinality is how granular in terms of your data, that is what is right. So uh, the more granular your data set will be, the more the cardinality of your data. So here, if you showing like this many of records are unique record. Similarly, you can look for any other columns and see how the data is if the data is cardinal or not, right? So you will get especially around those mm, especially around the integer number. So if you see here showing 44, so it's highly cardinal. It's showing normal because it's only 41% are the unique. So if you find any, maybe the phone number, let me see. Phone number also showing. So I have a lot of duplicate data in here, but usually the idea is like, okay, if you have very distinct data, that cardinality should be higher, right? So yeah, if you see here also, it will telling me outlier. I have 1% value where this score is beyond plus minus 3. So it has outliers as well being available. Uh, One other important part of this one here is something called I hope timed out. Mm. Usually it's very fast. I don't know it's taking so long to have the data set being created. Anyways, so here, if you see here, there is something called uh, data quality itself. I will show you like how you're able to create the data quality rules. But again, you will be running the data quality check against the data set. So here I have ran multiple data quality check. One is, uh, if there are the record if there are records which is the row count is 5 million. If I check like, okay, these values are unique against my data set, and this is failed because as you have learned in the college column stats, the email address, the employee ID, everything is not a unique, right? If you see here, I have not have a unique employee ID, so it means my data is not good. So this is there. And then I have this all the other data set, all other data quality is passed except this one is failed where I'm having that email address. uh, in my book I have explained how I have built this entire data quality check as well. And I think if you're looking that first I don't know if the first chapter, uh, it let me go back. Technically, this is the example when I was writing my book. I kind of created this example for you. So let me example read. Hmm, interesting. Oh, so it's not here. I thought it has a. My bad. I thought it has that chapter two. They have not included this chapter. They only kept the chapter one. Anyways, so mm, I will tell you like okay how you can able to create, but again that will give you an idea. You're able to run a data quality check against your data set itself, and it has a functionality for you to track down the data lineage as well. This is not very you can think of this is very limited. Okay, you have this data in S3, you have brought this data source, and then you have made all kind of you have created a project out of it. We call it one project, and there are other projects which you have created. I will be talking about what the project is, and then you have created this job. This job has produced an out data in S3. So this is again it's able to create the data lineage, but this is very limited to this product only. uh, let's say talk about once we have the data in here, so next job for me is to create a project out of it. Okay, so let's say I will be calling a let me see, it's a demo project. So just think of project is nothing but demo HR 5 million. Just think of project is nothing but it will provide you an UI experience to work with your data set, right? So I will be creating this project. This project will be creating and this canvas for me, okay? And I should able to see my data. I should able to work against this data. I able to perform all kind of operation against this data. So this is the project. So and again, if you see here, what it's doing, it's provisioning a resources for me to work against the data. So just think of project is nothing but you will opening. You have your you will be it will be providing you an Excel sheet for you to work. One thing I forgot to mention is this Glue Data Brew is again powered by Apache Spark. So this is as powerful as AWS Glue, and but the only thing is like it will offer you the UI experience, so you can able to work against your data in a UI manner instead of going into writing the Spark code. That's make it unique, and especially for those user they are not very not very proficient on writing a Spark, right? That are not very proficient in writing a SQL, and they wanted to extract the value, or they usually work on those roles where they have to analyze the data. They have to uh, build some predictions. They have to have a fair understanding of the data, and I believe all the roles these days require that skill. Okay, it's showing I have no battery. Let me get my charger. Any questions so far? Okay, so if you see here, I got this in here, so it will be showcasing the same preview again. So there are, I will able to apply filter. I will able to short the value. I will able to add, in a column. I able to rename the column. I able to duplicate the column. Able to change the data type. I'm able to delete the column, right? And then I able to perform different kind of formatting. Let's say if I wanted to change this to uppercase, right? I should able to change the value of the column. Let's say first name prefix, right? uh, I wanted to change this to the upper. I will able to do that. So this is how the example look like, and if I go and simply apply it, it will be changing the data to an upper um, you know case. So if you see here, change to the uppercase. Similarly, you're able to perform a lot of cleaning if you're looking to remove any special character which you have in your data set. So if you're looking to remove any numbers, if you're looking to remove any uh, letters, you have to looking to remove any punctuations, leading and trailing white spaces. This is again data cleaning steps, right? So this is very common when you bring the data from different data sources, right? It may have leading or trailing white spaces. Which you wanted to have remove. You wanna remove those consecutive white spaces, leading, trailing. Quotation marks. This is again very common, especially when you bring the CSV data. I have seen many data which has this double quotations. You're looking to add many prefixes. So idea is like, okay, you're able to perform all kind of cleaning here, and then you're able to extract, like, okay, if you're looking to extract some custom value out of your data, if you're looking to looking to remove any delimited or date, if you're looking to have those things, you're able to perform all kind of data. Looking to remove any missing value, or looking to remove any null value, empty value, all those are interesting data set which you able to work and able to perform. uh, if you're looking to remove any invalid value, replace with the null value. So this is especially when you work with a data scientist or data analyst, like, these are the operation you perform. Same goes with the duplicate, same goes with the outlier. If you're looking to remove any outlier, if you want to split, using a single delimit or multi delimited, or in between delimited positioning, right? Okay, I wanted to have the data being split from XYZ. So that how we usually do in a in a in a SQL, right? So similarly, if you're looking to merge the data, if you're looking to create anything, looking to create, there are a number of functions being available uh, around mass. You're able to perform all those functions against your data set itself. Like, hey, I wanted to perform an average of my data, or I want to do make a count, distinct count, uh, additional. You're able to perform this conditions. Hey, if the data is XYZ, do this operation. If the data is other, and if you're looking to have a case, right, you can provide the case operation too as well. If you have a data in nested, you're able to unnest data. If you have a unnest data, you're able to nest the data. You're able to pivot the data how we usually do in Excel, right, where you have to convert the row into column, column into row. That can be done as well. Uh, and Grouping, you're able to perform the group, join, union. This is where it's if you have to join multiple data sources, you're able to do that. So one is like, this human resource which we are currently working on. You're able to join with other data sources as well. So that is being possible in this stage, on the project stage. That is being earlier it was asked by Nisha, right? So so
Yes,
there are.
thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I said thank you. Now you're introducing this.
Yeah. So let's say, if I have to, this is a column I have to work on. I have this middle name, last name, right, and the first name. If I'm looking to concatenate this column, or if I have to, merge column, so you can think of, right, hey, I have an option to select this. I don't know, first name prefix, first name, first name prefix, first name, last name, right? All these four columns I wanted to have, and separate. I can just have a, you can add a space between it, or you can just keep it as it is because this already has the spaces. And you can, let me quickly add the space. So you can call it like full name, right? And then you're able to have this being applied. Uh, Sorry, I could have called it full name. But anyways, it will give you an idea. Mm, so it has created a new column called full. Let me see, must be at the end somewhere. It is here. Yeah, so if you see here, this is the full. I got this here. This is how my data look like, right? So, and similarly, if I'm looking to just do a filter where I wanted to, add a filter or missing value or by conditions, like is exactly, or let's say if I just wanna say, column name, maybe gender, I just wanna work with all the uh, all the male data in here. So I just put this apply this filter. So it will be applying filter against only I'm going to have a male data, right? So, and similarly, you're able to perform a lot of operations. So these are the operations which apply against the entire projects. But if you go on the individual column itself, like, hey, I don't need this column father name, right? Let me uh, write, let me delete this column, or I can just simply call it delete. This is being done, right? So I will be deleting this column here. Similarly, if I'm looking to work on date of birth, let's see what all operations I can able to perform against the date of birth. So if you see here, I have date of birth, time of birth, etc. Maybe I don't need the time of birth. Date of birth will be suffice for me. So I can simply go and remove that, like how I remove this father name. Similarly, for date of birth, maybe I wanna change this format. This look like to me month, day, and year. Maybe I can just change this format to some other format, right? Let's see, change this time format as I wanted to have this year, month, and day. Uh, I'm just simply able to go and apply this in here. So, and again, if you see here, this is only applying against the filter which I have applied. See here, it's only applying with this too many this simple values, right? So once done, this is what we're doing is we are creating something called recipe. This entire stuff is called recipes. So recipes is nothing but, like, set of operation which you perform against your data set, or or all the operations which you perform against your data set. This is called the recipe. You have an options, right? You're able to import this recipe, you're able to download this recipe as in YAML or as in JSON, and apply this recipe against the another data set. Let's say you have brought the same data set, or maybe you have built this recipe and you want to share this recipe with your colleagues and say, hey, you also have the same data set. uh, so and think of a reusable transforms against the data set, right? And then you're bringing the same data again and again, and every day you're looking to apply all this transformation against the data, right? You're able to use by using the recipe. So once the recipe is being created, right, you're able to download or import this recipe to other places, right? If I just simply say, hey, maybe I can call it, give a recipe name uh, here, and that I will able to import um, and able to perform that operations. So uh, so I have 5 recipe being created. Now what I can do is, hey, I have done with this sample data set because this is the data representation. But if you remember, we had a 5 million record, and what I'm doing is I'm just working with this 500 record, right? So if I want to apply all these changes against my entire data set, that's where I will be going and creating this job. And this job is going and running against this entire data set and making the transformation. Make sense? Okay.
Ye-
So this is what the job is all about. So if you see here, I have created a number of jobs to just to perform against the data set. One thing is other is the data quality rule set. So this data quality rule set is nothing but, hey, I wanted to work against this data and I wanted to create some data quality rule. Uh, demo DQ. Let's say this is my data set, and I wanted to perform like, hey, maybe give me, look for this column and check individual column, or check for selected column, all the columns, right? So if I say here all the columns, number of rows, maybe I just want to apply this is equal to 500 million, because I know I have a 500 million record, right? So I wanted to apply this against this entire data set, and I wanted to perform the data quality check and see if that is being you can able to add another role. You're able to see like, okay, maybe just you want to check with which each column, right? So if I can go with let's say I want to see unique value, right? I wanted to ensure my column has unique value. For instance, employee ID. Employee ID should be is equal to one. One value should be one row, right? Has equal unique value. So that if you're able to perform this kind of operations as well, similarly goes with the SSN and all other things. So I remember now. So we have data quality with, yeah, data quality with AWS. Mm, yeah. So if you see here, this is the data quality rules which we have, and this is being written by me only. So you able to see I have applied data quality rule set, and you able to see, and I have used the same data set. So do me a favor, right? If you get a chance, try to implement this block in your AWS account. So and also once you brought this is just only talking about the data quality, how you're able to implement the data quality, but that step will remain same. Like, okay, you will be bringing the data in to your account. You will be creating a data set. You will be, you know, and you can again create a data create a profile which provide you some kind of recommendations, all those nice stuff which you're able to do that, but that will give you an idea as well. Okay, so uh, i'm I'm hope you got a sense like, okay, how the glue data brew works. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so hopefully you got an idea about Glue Data Brew. How this works. Try out that blog which I have shared here in a link and see if it's making sense, and we can connect to the next session. Okay, so with this again, I will be the next section. I will be calling about. We will be learning about. Uh, uh, there is a visualization tool called QuickSight. We're going to learn about QuickSight itself, and the interesting part is QuickSight now has a mm, GenAI integration, and similarly, now we have AWS Glue. It also has a GenAI integration in it. So there is a product called AWS Glue Code Whisperer. which let you write your own code. So that is being integrated with AWS Glue. And you have not, means you can just give a prompt when you work with AWS Glue, and it kind of write a code for you. So if I simply go and in here, jobs, let me see, let's say create a blank canvas. If I go in script, add it to script. Okay, it look like it's not integrated in the in here. Maybe it's when you work with a notebook, it maybe integrated with a notebook. But anyways, it is got integrated here, which allow you to do the Gen AI. But we can learn that as later. So yeah, so next section I will be talking about QuickSight, which is the visualization tool, and with the end of QuickSight, we will be completing our batch processing. And once that is being done, I will be covering session around which is Kinesis data, Kinesis and MSK, which is the streaming engine. So I'm hoping to have 3 more sessions, and once we've done this 3 more session, we will be ending our this series. Okay, I'm hoping to complete everything in next 3 sessions. So
Thank you.
yeah, I will be putting this recording into YouTube. Be later today or tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.